Hi, I'm Noel New, the songwriting therapist. I want to talk about something that's really important when we need to end something or let something go. There's two kind of tacks we can take, and one is quitting and another is surrendering. And it's really important to delineate between the two, and how one is very negative, to quit, to be a quitter, to quit something. And one is very positive, to surrender, to let go. And so they can be very similar, but with a real serious distinction. So quitting. Let's talk about the energy of quitting. So I try, and I get to a point where I either can't do it, I don't want to do it, or a combination thereof. And so I quit. But the energy of quitting is resistance. Because when I quit it, I'm not giving myself the opportunity to go all the way through it. You know, that's why we say never quit, don't quit, keep going, keep striving, right? And so when I quit, I don't give myself the opportunity. So in that loss of opportunity, I have resistance. I feel shame. I feel guilt. I feel resentful. I feel regret. You know, all these different things that are of the ego, because I decided, I made a choice to quit and to give up, but yet I'm still holding on to all the energy of it. And that's why quitting doesn't work. If I quit, I'm not going to find any fulfillment. So let's take the other side, surrender. Well, what's the difference? You know, when somebody surrenders, they quit. No, here's the difference. When I surrender, I'm really surrendering to the whole process of the experience. So yes, I may have to stop the moving forward or the trying or the striving. However, I'm not quitting on it and feeling all the energy of resistance. I'm allowing myself to stop or end a certain process by surrendering and allowing the whole picture, which means grief, loss, shift, you know, being able to get to understand fully my capacities, myself, who I am, what the scenario is that I'm trying to work through. So the surrender is not quitting. It may have an element of stopping or ending, but it's really allowing myself to process through it. And thus, a lot of times when we surrender, we move forward. It could be with something else, or it could be with the same thing, and with more ingenuity and more information and more ability to, you know, go beyond what was the obstacle before that. Whereas in quitting, we'll just, even if we get back up and try again after quitting, we haven't allowed ourselves the growth, the expansion of, and the information gathering that, you know, will move us beyond the obstacle. And more than likely, we'll hit the obstacle again and feel even more regret and quit again. So if I could give an example, it's like somebody, so anybody who's got a skill, you know, yeah, I'll use myself for that. You know, I learned to play guitar when I was 13, and it was not fun. I did not have fun learning guitar. You know, playing ding, 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 you know, twinkle, twinkle, little stuff, doing A, B, you know, the scales, you know, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, you know, whatever. And I didn't like it, and I was bored, and I wanted to stop, and my fingers hurt, like really bad. You know, I didn't have any calluses, and it just wasn't fun. I wanted to play rock and roll. I was 13 years old. It was 1983. I wanted to play Motley Crue or Ozzy Osbourne, or at least AC/DC. And I'm playing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So what I could have quit. I could have quit and just put it down and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I didn't. But I did need to surrender. And what I needed to surrender, and I didn't know any of this when I was 13, so I'm not giving myself extra credit. I'm just saying I didn't know, but looking back now, I surrendered to, I'm not going to be able to immediately play bar chords and play, you know, complicated things. So let me learn how to play just regular chords and just practice, transitions. And nobody really told me that. I mean, I was getting lessons, so they were just teaching me D, D, D. But I was like, okay, here's a D, literally, and then I'm going to go to an E. So I literally would just do this all night, just going from moving. And at first it was like all these different things. And those of you who have tried to play guitar know exactly what I'm talking about. And then all that until finally I'm going G, D, C, A, getting the shapes in and hitting the right on the strings. So the surrender, I surrendered from playing scales. And by the way, I still am not a lead guitarist, nor have any desire to be. I don't want to play, like Eddie Van Halen. I mean, I never did. I love Eddie Van Halen. I love, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan's my favorite. I love that. I love their stuff. But I don't want to ever play like that. I want to just play some chords and, and play in the chords that work for me. And so I surrendered, and I was able to master what works for me with the guitar, at least a couple of years later. And now doing it for 30 years from there, 40 years, I guess. But as time keeps ticking. But the point is that the difference between quitting and surrendering, if I quit, I never would be sitting here saying, I'm the songwriting therapist. Because I more than likely would have had regret or things like that. Or I would have come back to it, maybe learned some more, but then had this quitter's mentality. If it's not working for me, I don't want to do it. So again, sometimes we need to stop, and that'll look like quitting. When we add the element of surrender, it's not about giving up, it's just about just giving in, letting go, and just, feeling what we need to feel, regrouping, getting more information. And maybe in that case, surrender might have been, the guitar's not for me. I had a lot of pain in my hand as a kid because I just kept doing that every night. But then eventually the pain went away. But again, if the pain never went away and I had some kind of injury, I wouldn't be able to play. And that'd be okay. I'd have to surrender to that. So it's really important, this delineation between quitting and surrendering, and allowing yourself to surrender when you need to. Let go. Again, it's not defeat. It is loss. Going back to a former talk that we had, the difference between defeat and loss. The difference between regret and remorse. Well, this is another one. The difference between quitting and surrendering. And quitting is of the ego and resistance. Surrendering is of the soul level, of the spirit, and allowing. And when we surrender, in his recovery, we say we surrender to win. That gives us the opportunity to let go and to move forward even better than before.